Welcome back to another episode of FSI DFS Fantasy NASCAR Picks. I'm Mega Rover 31. Truck race at Darlington. So excited that they brought them back here for this weekend. It's actually a double header because you have the Xfinity race tonight in Portland at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Not going to get a video out for that. So a couple things that you can do. First of all is I have dropped the price. If you go to the description of the video, there's a link to our website, fsidfs.com. You can go in there, and if you want to sign up for the season-long NASCAR package, there's 10 races, weeks of racing left, so multiple races on each week. The price is $25, so that covers you for the rest of the season. So there's that. That's option number one. Option number two is you can go to the same website, and in the right-hand corner, there's a link to join our Discord. If you get in there, there's a free room called NASCAR Pool. If you go in there, then I usually post a sheet or leave some information to try to help you out if I can't get a video out. And the final thing you can do is check back at about 6 p.m. tonight on this video. I will post at least like the primes and some of the DOMs and maybe a couple notes in the comments section. So three ways that you can get the Xfinity race information, because I probably won't get a video out for that. But we do have the truck one. Another housekeeping thing too, if you want to join FSI DFS, we also have a VIP package of $6 a day. And college football is back. So if you can play that in your state, a lot of great teams and matchups today. So that's going to be awesome. And Pete Cole has that covered for you. Um, does a really good job. We start on Thursday and Friday, and he's done a ton of research, and we'll have all the slates covered for you for that. So if you enjoy college football, come back. And the third thing too is check out this channel coming up this week because we're gonna start doing NFL videos. So I think next after Labor Day, like Thursday, we start the season. So we'll have a preview video for the Philadelphia Dallas uh, game and the showdown there, and then we'll have a video for like Sunday. So that's what we got coming up. So exciting things in the fall, and hopefully the NASCAR pools don't go down the toilet and become very minuscule because everything's going to NFL now. But that's how it usually goes. But there's kind of an edge to keep on grinding it out through this last 10 weeks of the season and the playoffs because there's money still to be made and less people sometimes playing because their attention goes elsewhere. Thanks for watching as always, and let's get into it. So you probably want about two dominators here with the truck race with the amount of laps that they have. And there's a lot of great options up on top. And it seems like, the cream kind of rose here. So if you look at the number column, the blue and yellow are the guys in the playoffs. There's 10 drivers there. The yellows are just below the cut line. Really doesn't mean much at this point because there's only a couple, like probably like maybe 5 points separating who's in, who's out, which is not that much. A lot can happen. So they really need to get points here. So that scares me a little bit in the fact that if it's not somebody that's up there dominating the race, they might play a little bit more conservative in round one, especially at a rough track like Darlington, and just try to survive in advance versus being super aggressive and trying to get the win. Now, the win locks them into the next round, so it's logical there, but sometimes it favors the non-playoff drivers to be more aggressive with track position and things like that and pit strategy to try to go out there and win one of the crown jewels of NASCAR with Darlington and not go out there and just race for points because they don't have to because it doesn't matter anymore. It only matters for these 10 drivers. So I think some of the DOMs up there are definitely ones that are going to be going for the win. But if you look at the middle of the field, like if Ankrum's not up there, if Truth's not up there, if Hemrick especially is not up there, Jake Garcia's got some room to make up, Honeycutt's got some room to make up. I think that they might be conservative, stay out for stage points. It might hurt them in stage three for track position. And we'll have to see what ends up happening there. But and again, it's a shorter track, so they're not going to be like short pitting. But if there's like a caution right before the end of the stage, which sometimes you see trucks pit and then they don't have to pit at the caution break, but those who stay out for stage points do, so they follow behind them. And if it's hard to pass and you can't get a lot of track position, then that helps benefit the drivers that weren't going for the stage points. So, anyways, back on to what we have here. So, start up top, Lane Riggs. And basically, if you look at it, I gave you three cheapish primes for place differential. Um, down below because what I really want to do is I hate giving you people up top um drivers there. I want you to make your own decisions on like who you pick as your dominators. I want to give you a core of cheap drivers that I've worked with several different scenarios that help you get in like the drivers that you want up top, but gives you a solid floor for the rest of it. So I'm I mean, I know that like Corey Haim's probably a prime play each week, and Riggs starting the poll might be a prime, and maybe the two of them are primes, and maybe like only one of them down here would be. But that's how I like to roll with these videos and coverage. I like to give you a core of solid fill-in players and let you pick the stars up top, and I think it's more fun that way. So Riggs is definitely a good one here. A 6 and 10 lap average, but obviously got the pole. Is definitely one that can go out there and do damage, and he really came alive in the playoffs last year. So definitely an option there. Chandler Smith, I think, is an upside Dom fourth. Yeah, he very well could go out and be one that could do really well too, but I kind of like Chaim Majeski and Riggs a little bit better, but I think he's definitely in consideration there. Chaim is obviously the head of the class, first and 10 lap average, will probably get up there and out there and lead at some point. And if somebody doesn't take him out or he has a mechanical failure, he is probably the highest odds to win this race and advance to the next round. Enfinger is in a good place here also. Good track for him, experienced, third and 10 lap average. So I don't think you can go wrong with any of the four up here as picking two of them in Dominator. And I want to throw Majeski in there also, who is second and 10 lap average. So I think those are the five that you want to pick from. If you want my order of preference, I would probably go Heim, then Majeski, just because you have the place to. I know it's a little bit more riskier. Is he going to get up there and be able to lead laps? I think he is. And then Riggs. So I think like Majeski's two and like Riggs is 2A. I think you're choosing for like the guy that's starting on the pole that very well could go out there and lead a bunch of laps early and nobody gets ahead of him if they're racing behind him and it's single file and it's hard to pass the leader. Then he's obviously going to bank a lot of points early and maybe hold it throughout the rest of the race. On the other side, Majeski has some built-in place differential, which if he like crashes, he doesn't lose as many. The nice thing about this race too is there's only 32 trucks. So the 32nd place finisher is going to, it's not the right bonuses. Okay. So 32nd place finisher gets at least 9 points. So I mean that's not horrible because you're going to have the negative place differential, but there's a little bit of floor here versus like last week in Daytona where they have a 40. So the pole um, winner, if they crash, is going to have a negative 39 and get zero. Here, like if Riggs crashes, you're going to get negative 31, but if you add nine to that, it's going to be a negative 22, which is still bad, but not as detrimental, especially if he has like high ownership as in a cash game as he is if it was like a full field race. So but then, Majeski there is going to lose about what 24 places with the nine. It's like only negative 13, so it's a little bit better. So that's your choice right there. Do you and you save $500 with Majeski also. So I think they're both outstanding plays. And I'm going for the place differential and hoping that Majeski gets to lead and that Heim or Smith gets out there before Riggs and the Riggs owners don't get the um, bonus points there for dominating fast laps and laps led. But we'll see. I'll probably split it, but I'll probably put more of my cash on the Majeski build than the Riggs build. Chandler Smith, I like mixing into an M figure also. And if you're playing in like the 20 max dollars, then mix between these five, like the two of them. There's like all the different combinations you can with the primes, figure out who the last man in, and that's I think some really great builds for you there also. Caden Honeycutt, I think, is another one that could be a dark horse here. 17th and 10 lap average. I think he can still probably get a top 10 finish. The truck's good. Honeycutt was in other equipment. The only reason he got booted out of his ride is because he was going to Toyota the next year, and the manufacturer kind of wanted to sever ties before that happen, but he's got some upside. He's been a solid driver, and I think that definitely a dark horse here. Uh, Ruggiero Giovanni here. This guy has a lot of upside too. I know he's starting six was kind of scary, so that's why I want to be the 20K driver. But I think he's got top 10 potential. I don't know if he's in a lead lap, so 6,900. I don't think you really need that. I think you need some really good finishing position here. 11th and 10th lap average. So I think he's a dark horse here in a GPP. Hemrick, eighth, like he's just kind of there. And again, I think he's just going to kind of go for like stage points and not really look to dominate or win the race. I think he should have a solid finishing position and a good day, but I don't think there's really a ton of upside there. So GPP for, well, I don't think there's a ton of floor. I mean, there is always the upside that he could go out there and have a good race and win it. That's why he's a GPP, but I don't think the floor is there that I really am looking for. Majeski, I already talked about. Corey LaJoy, I think you can play in cash here. It's like all this experience. He's in a good Spire truck, 10 to 10th lap average. And I think his ownership will be medium because people are going to focus on all these other ones. But again, remember, he and also Giovanni, they're not running for the championship. So they can hit early if there's that caution before the end of stage two and get the track position. And if they can hold it out there, I think and manage their tires pretty well, then I think and LaJoy has experience with that also. I think that's going to help bode well for him and make him a solid cash play. Ankrum and Kruth, I think Kruth just for the price makes him more of a cash play because there's a little bit of place differential if you can move up there. Ankrum, like I said, I just worry about the two of these. Really just having going out there and if they can't get up and dominate with the big boys, that they're just going to be play conservative. They're going to go out there and just try to let the laps tick away, get a good finishing position, get their points, and move on. And hope to just hold their heads above the cut line to be able to survive and advance and continue on in the championship. I don't think it's about everybody wants to go out there to win a race, but I think in reality, sometimes in these playoff formats, that drivers go out there and just try not to make mistakes versus trying to be aggressive and win. Tennegray's out of it, so I think that makes him he can be highly owned in a cash play here because I think he's definitely at times has had a top 10 truck, even a top five. But this year it seems like he qualifies really well and then doesn't finish. So I think 12th is appropriate with some upside there. So I think you can play him in cash. Jake Garcia, same thing. I like the price point, and there might be a little bit of place differential if he's there and he has to be a little bit more aggressive because he's kind of outside the cut line. I don't think he's going to be as super conservative unless two of the trucks who are ahead of him like have issues or like get speeding penalties on pit road or a tire falls off or they're involved in an incident and have damage or a wreck and out of it, then I think he turns into more of a conservative drive. Mosaic again is not in the playoffs here, and I like the upside. I like the price, and I think that I don't think he's going to finish where he starts. Yeah, I think he's going to finish like 15th through like 10th. So I think that's a solid day there. At 66, that's good for finishing position. It should get you the 4X you're looking for or more. And I think he has some upside again because he doesn't have to play conservative like some of the other ones. He's not in the playoffs. Corey Day is a really good driver too, and a really good Spire truck. I think he'll be highly owned, and I think got some upside there and some floor for cash. However, Bain, I think thought he was going to be like highly owned, but I think maybe people are going to. It's been a couple years. Um, Kind of recognize the name, but kind of forget who he is. Now he's a good driver, but not at Darlington. So that's why I'm going to make him a 20K. I think a lot of people are going to play him in cash, and if you want to, that's fine. But he just barely made it into the 10 lap average top 20. His He started really good, especially in Xfinity. His like average start at Darlington was ninth, but his average finish in Xfinity was 19th. His average finish in trucks at Darlington is 27th. His average finish, and he had a lot of cup races that he ran at Darlington, was like 34th. So this is statistically in finishes is not a good racetrack for him. Now, okay, he's in the number one Tricon truck, so he's going to good equipment. He's a good driver. Is everything going to click and come together? And is he going to overcome this and do better in a field that's probably not as strong as when he was racing in truck before? I don't know. That's why I think he's great for a 20K GPP, ultimate boom or bust play, but I don't feel he has the floor for cash. And I think other people are going to make him like maybe even a prime play or a solid cash play. But I'm very weary about that one. He's probably my cash fade of the week here. Definitely is. Uh, Curry, I think there's some upside here in this knees truck. He's been solid all season. I think you get a top 20 and at that price, that's good. Matt Mills, been okay at Darlington. I like that he had a little bit of speed here and 15th in the top 10 and qualified in top 20, but I like some other drivers better. Sutton, same thing. I like the 12th, but I just worry sometimes about the Rackley truck has been solid so many times, but there have been some times where they have had mechanical issues. It's not as often as it's more often it's usually more often it's less often than not, let's say it that way. But still I just don't feel the floor is there, so it's going to put GPP on him. Prez de Lara, I think people are going to overlook this one. He's in a not in a Spire truck. Sorry about that. He moves to the 44 this week, and let's see, what is the 44? 44 is a Nice truck, so it's still a Chevy. Yes. So I feel he's a prime play here. He looked really good in practice. He had ninth and 10th lap average. Like the fall off was there. Did well, seemed managing his tires at 6,400. I like the price. I think that he can finish in like the top 15. And I really think that it's a solid play for the price with some floor. So that's why I got a prime on him there. Roads you can play in cash here. I just Thorsport just hasn't impressed me as much with speed this year. So I'm going to kind of I'll play him and sprinkle him in, and if he's last man in, but I don't know if he's going to make my primary cash lineup. But the place differentials there, the potential's there, and I think there's enough floor to be a cash play. Crafton, I'm going to put the prime play in here. He announced his retirement. This is kind of his swan song, so I think they're going to go out there and try to do well and get him one last win. I don't know what's going to come in. He's good at tire wear tracks, and he's been solid at this one. So we wish him well, and I think I'll continue to play him out with the narrative that there's only a couple races left to get him some final victories, and I think the team is going to really invest that in him um, so that he can go on and do that. I don't know if he's going to completely be out of racing. I think he might turn into one like Eric Almirola, where you'll see him like pop in every so often in in races. So we'll see that. But I just think like competing full time for him is just and with Thor Sport taking a step back with speed this year, I just don't think it's and they might be contracting teams too. It's hard like trying to field all these teams. So Majeski's going to take over his ride in the 88, and I think they're going to try to keep Menards as a sponsor um through that move. Timmy Hill is always saw a cash play here, and he had some speed in practice. He was top 13. Just never qualifies well, but veteran, good tire wear, and the truck usually holds up pretty well at this rough track. So definitely got some solid floor for cash there. Yeah. Stefan Parsons, seventh. I really like that. And I think you need to talk to Parsons and Woods at the same here because Woods Wood like he always just always play him, I always get burned. And I see he had fifth and 10 lap average. Parson had seven. There's $100 difference here. And I think a lot of people are going to go with Woods as the prime play, but I just Parsons, I just feel has the better floor. So I think you can play Woods and Cash. I think you can play both of them in there. And if Woods is like your fourth in with the primes, and that gives you a lot of salary to be able to go up there and get whatever dominators you want, or maybe you drop down from Crafton at the 7K mark and it gives you a little bit more place differential and it gives you like $1,000 or $900 more in salary to work something out to maybe get like three of the drivers up top in it and do a three king lineup, which I'm fine with too. But Woods, I think is fine in cash. But Parsons, I just really looking at like Darlington and similar tracks and stuff. I just feel is the better play, and I think he'll still have high ownership, but I think he'll have less ownership than Woods. So I think that's going to give me a little bit of a differential in cash because I always put my cash in a GPP too, and that might help me in that aspect. Boyd top 18 here, but I don't know. I just don't trust the truck with like I like the fact that they have like their own like team and stuff, and they're trying to make it work, and sometimes he surprises us and fine, but I don't feel the floor is there. Imagine and Bird, the same thing. I don't know if they can be able to stay on the lead lap if the truck's going to make it through the whole race. I mean, they're not started par candidates, but they're just not good. Branger has is in really good equipment and been looking better. I don't know if she's raced at Darlington before in Cup. I think she has in ARCA, but and like tire wear tracks like kind of neutral there. I think it's still something that needs to be learned, but just the current form. I know she got in some wrecks, but they haven't been like her fault as much recently. So I think there's some upside there, and I think she can be like a top 25 driver. So I think that's a solid cash play if you're putting somebody down the 500 range below Hill. Then I think if you're trying to get like if you're trying to do something crazy like get Riggs Prime and Majeski. I don't know if that's even physically possible in the same lineup, but I think Brandon Jerry is one that you can play to try to make that happen. And then the bottom four down here, I would normally give them all fades, but the problem is that there's so much floor here because like there's only 32 trucks in this race. So like I said, 32nd place, you're going to get a guaranteed 9 points to start out with. So um, 31st and 30th. So if I go back to the bonus page here, uh, so like if Malzoni moves up 2 spots, he gets 12 points there at 5,200. I mean, that's pretty good. So, for like a scrub driver that you're just punting on. So, if you have to in these start a scrub build, I only do like one of these, but your floor down here is like 9 to 12 points if they finish like dead last to like 30th. So I think that gives them more upside than normal race if they're 40 uh, trucks in this race or like even 38 or 36, I'd say forget it. But just like taking those 4 to 8 trucks off of the back of the field here really gives them some upside in the DK scoring system because DK doesn't retrofit the scoring system to match how many trucks in it. It's always a standard. If there's 40 cars or trucks in the race, that's what the scoring system goes by. So it also limits like place differential, but none of these are, you don't have like an Enfinger or like a Majeski or a Chandler Smith or some stud that couldn't make a qualifying lap is starting down here. You know, they're going to shotgun the field and you got to be good chalk and got to be like a free square. You don't have that here. There's really like Crafton's probably like the lowest starting one that potentially could, and Rhodes that could get up there. I think the field is definitely top heavy here. I think it's like the cream rose to the top here, and I think it's going to be a good race, and I think it's going to be great for DFS because there's no like chalk cash build itself. You just look at it, and you know exactly who you need to take, and it all falls into place. And everybody has the same duplicate lineups, and you try to play in double ups and you don't even double up your money because there's so many people that you pay $5 and you end up winning like 333 or something like that. So I got for you. Looking for exciting weekend racing. Hope you guys have an amazing Labor Day. Like I said, check out our coverage because like soccer is back with the Premier League. We got college football. We're still grinding MLB. Um, and we got like so many other things going on still out there for FSI, and the fall's coming. And other sports will be returning. So thanks for watching. Good luck in your contest. You know how to get a hold of me. And these videos help us back. Like, subscribe to the channel, and share with your friends. So I'll get a cup video out tonight or early tomorrow morning. And Southern 500 is always another fun one to break down and watch. So hopefully we get a really good lineup like we do for cup for truck here. And thankful this week that we don't have to do a speculation video, that we can actually give you the real details. So thanks for watching. Good luck in your contest. Have a great weekend. I'll see you next.